books, others preserve legacies. From a child's first imagination to a lifetime of memories waiting to be told. Today's guest has helped countless voices become stories the world can hold in its hands. Please welcome Chandini Mathur, the founder of Worldly Wise Publishers. Hi, how are you doing today?
Hi, Pujita. I'm good and very happy to be here.
Very happy to have you here as well.
Yes.
So let's dive right into it. Obviously, I've done a lot of research and I've noticed that a lot of authors don't remember you because you've published their books. They remember you because you helped them believe that they could become authors. You've spent a lot of time working with writers from different walks of life, first-time authors, professional, dreamers, and storytellers. What has that journey taught you about people's relationship with their own stories?
Okay, so see, when I started working in this sphere as a publisher for Worldly Wise Publishers, it was started with an intent to help and to give. Our tagline says empowering writers become authors.
Yes.
So that's what we go with. Anybody who likes to write or who has a story to tell, and maybe not the art of writing, but a story to tell, we help them bring it out. These days, the good thing is that everybody has a story to tell because there are so many things happening in everyone's life, and people are open about it. They want to come out with it. They want to speak about it. So that's where we step in, and we give them a platform where they get all kind of support in terms of whether it requires a reading or just a friendly chat about what you are writing, how is it going on, those kind of things. And yes, once an author decides to publish with us, and we help them then with everything, including the whole process is there. We start with a market evaluation,
Okay.
where we first assess ourselves whether we are the right publishers for this kind of a book. And if we are, then we take it on. Because again, the whole purpose of starting Worldly Wise was to help. And I don't want to give a dishonest portrayal कि हाँ हम तो ये कर देंगे हम वो कर देंगे. So जो नहीं कर सकते वो हम नहीं कर सकते. But
very few people who are very honest about that, right? People just want to take on everything that they get, but you having this whole thing that if you're a right fit or not is very important. It builds trust.
It builds trust, right? And my background has been of editing and translation, so I'm not a business person, so I cannot think like that. So that is also, I don't know if I should say it as an issue, but yes, it helps build that connection with authors.
Right. I think people really vain when it comes to honest work, right? People can just tell that, okay, these people are a good fit or not, and the other person is also on the same level as you. And it just feels like, okay, I can trust them otherwise also. If they do choose not to work with you also, you have built a nice network and a good connect with that person also. So because they can always come back to you.
So this is what my team keeps telling me कि आप सबसे दोस्ती कर लेते हो, फिर हम काम करते हैं, फिर वो तो दोस्ती में होता रहता है काम की, just आप प्रोफेशनल स्फेयर में ही नहीं रहते हो. So, but I like to keep it like this.
Fair enough. We fully agree. I think, you just don't want to have a very professional relationship also. You do want to help them grow. So when there's a thin line between that, but obviously balance is important.
So a story, we do get a lot of first-time authors, or even established authors, but a story is like a child for them. They are nurturing it, they are working on it, building it. You can't just treat it like a business proposal. You can't just treat it like that. So most of the authors just want to see their book out. They want to see people reading it, and that's what we try to do.
Very nice. They also carry a lot of experiences and memories, right? And they want to publish it as a book someday. So what do you think finally gives someone the permission to start writing? Like what kind of thought process do they go under to decide one day that, okay, I'm going to write a book?
You see, I think there's a lot of awareness about mental health these days. And that is what is getting people to write. Even if you go for therapy or a psychologist, they also ask you to start writing journals.
Yes, right.
That is how most stories start. It is somewhere connected to that author, connected to the writer, and mostly they are telling their own stories somewhere in between, because you cannot absolutely fictionalize anything.
Correct.
So there's a part of them in it. So that's how they start. And sometimes they need kind of that push.
Right.
So when they come to us with the half prepared manuscript, so we give them more ideas and we discuss about it so that they know what more can be done. Then comes the editing part once the project is on.
Right.
So also the editors work hard on what needs to be done, what more can be done. And sometimes we remove the most loved parts from their stories because they, from a reader's point of view, they are not making as much sense, and as the
Right.
flow gets disrupted.
Right.
So there's a lot of back and forth, but it's a good relationship that you have, and when the book is out, everybody is happy.
Obviously, you're looking for the best outcome for their books at the end of the day. As you mentioned, they're also like very first time authors, right? What happens when they have writer's blocks or something? How do you deal with that? And how do they deal with it usually when they have like a writer's block and they can't see, as you said, there's some things maybe you'll have to cut when you're trying to not being able to relate to the maybe consistency of the book. So how do they get over that? What is the process behind that?
Okay, so see, writer's block is very personal,
Correct.
and usually by the time the authors come to us, they have a story in mind. It's
Right.
not that this is how I will start and then I don't know what to do with it. So they come with a story which has a beginning, which has some part in the body, and then there's an end to it.
Right.
How to structure it together? That's where the writer's block comes.
Right.
So once we have the blurb with us, a summary of the story, then if they are coming, like, there are a lot of people who approach me who are not publishing with us, but
Right.
it's just for a chat on what more can be done, how do we do this. So we have those kind of discussions, and I think if you're having a writer's block, you should give yourself time,
Right.
and just keep scribbling something will strike. So don't stop writing. I don't know how to go ahead with this, so don't
Right.
stop writing. Write anything. We will not make it a part of the book if it is not relevant, but at least keep writing. So that's the
Right.
idea.
Writer's block also makes you feel very discouraged to continue sometimes. Right? It's just sometimes very demotivating that, oh no, what do I do next? So yeah, that kind of encouragement is needed, that you just do whatever, we figure it out together.
And it also, I think it helps when we talk, because being a publisher, the authors put in that faith that I would know how to solve
Right.
this problem. So if I tell them, they think on it, and then we mutually agree or disagree and come to a conclusion on what needs to be done. So it has happened that we have prepared the complete books, and then at the end of it, after the first lot is printed, we feel that the cover is not looking nice.
Oh damn.
So so then we also have discussions, like, it's an ongoing process. So if
Right.
it's not something which is appealing to the market, or I feel that we can do better, then we make those changes.
Amazing. What surprises you the most about people when they sit down to tell this story for the very first time? They just come and they're like, okay, listen, I have this idea. So what is the most surprising thing for you for that in that process?
I often think about it, that when I speak to these writers, and we hold these meetings, we meet at cafes or maybe our office or wherever it's comfortable, and they start talking about their lives. That is the best part. I mean, everybody is doing so much and doing it so well.
Right.
And I mean, as an outsider, I can see it, that, oh my God, what all have you been doing? But for them, because it is mundane and it is part of their lives now, and they've been doing it for so long, so they don't feel in awe of what they are doing.
Right.
So I think the best part of meeting people is knowing what they're doing, and it humbles me, that
Right.
that, oh my God, everybody is doing so much, everybody is somebody. So that's the kind of conversation I like to hold. Then comes the part about the book. So whenever we are taking something on, we always feel that we need to get into the writer's shoes and think like him, have an idea of where is his story coming from.
Right.
Only then you can keep it his story and still make it the best version of it. So I like to know my authors. I like to know about Ghar Mein Kaun Hai and Let's Meet
Right.
as Family. And as I told you, okay, it's not a professional setup we have here. It's more
Yeah.
like
You're
everybody's
handling somebody's baby.
right.
Right. Amazing. I also have this one question. Does writing change people, like not as authors, but as human beings? Does that have like a major impact on them, their personalities, and does that make a lot of change in people? as
I
authors, people.
think it does, and it does that in a major fashion, because when you are a writer, you start to observe things around you, which we may miss if we are not doing any kind of creative work. So when any field, whether it is painting or writing or sculpture, you have to have a lot of introspection. You have to have a lot of thinking to do, and you observe things around you. Like maybe um, there's a suppose there's a house help who has come to my house, and because I think in terms of stories,
Right.
so whatever she tells me, I build a background according to that. That
Right.
okay, so this is what she's saying. This is where it is coming from. So I'm able to understand things better.
You're
And
connecting the dots in your head, right?
yes, and you are doing that all the time. So it does make you an overthinker, but
Yeah,
but yes, it has its perks too, and
absolutely.
it's very interesting. It changes your whole perspective. You become more empathetic towards people,
Yeah, right.
and you forgive easy. You want to understand. You want to see how to make it work. So that's
Yes.
what writing does to you. I'm
Yes.
all for writing.
No, I can see that. I absolutely see that. It genuinely does make you an empath, and that's very important in this very fast-moving, fast world, right? You just need somebody to just pause and listen to whatever is cooking in your head. It's very important.
And I mean, keep it simple. Don't put that pressure of judging somebody in your head. Maybe it's just gives you a broader perspective of where everything is coming from. That
Right.
helps.
Right. Fair enough. You've also helped a lot of people, so many voices find their place on a bookshelf. Has there been a story or author who changed the way you see the world? I know everybody has done that, but there must be one specific story or book or author, a person, their story must have touched you maybe in an unexpected way. Could you tell me more about that?
Okay, so it's tough to pinpoint on any one such book, but I'll tell you about the first book we did. So
Right.
I started Worldly Wise during COVID, and we started with just one project in hand. There were just two of us, one designer, one me, and we started with this book. So the um, first client who came to us, they run an NGO in Pune,
Right.
and they had collected these stories of people from high ups like senior officials, government officials, IPS officers, to maids and
Hmm.
laborers who who went through what during COVID and how
Right.
did they overcome it. So that was a collection of stories, but that really moved me on. I mean, we are very comfortable, touch wood, and we don't realize that
Correct.
till we hear such stories. So, I mean, it was the same for mentally. It was the same for everybody who had gone through it or suffered
Correct.
loss during COVID, and suffered hardships, and they had to travel, and some people who could not travel. So those kind of stories, they really touched me, and I mean, it's amazing how people have that strength of handling things in such times, and the way we all have moved ahead from there. It's beautiful.
Right. I think everybody has their own struggles and hardships, but the levels, maybe the depth is so much different for everybody. And it makes you feel very thankful for the life you've been provided with and you have, but also very empathetic, like, okay, people have gone through this and privilege is real, but we do want to help everybody find voices. So that's very important.
So being in the army, that also was like one blessing, that
Right.
you have your job security, you have a house, and you have everything provided for. And I mean, I'll tell you this story. My son, when COVID started, he had gone to Jaipur to my mom's place just before COVID started.
Right.
He got stuck there, and he could not come back because of the lockdown. And sorry, and we did not know what to do. And he was there for like a month, and we had to get him back. He was also, yeah, he was also tired of this being there. And there's no company, just the
Correct.
grandparents were there. He had gone to meet them. So then my husband, he wore his uniform and he took permission and he drove all the way to Jaipur because he could, others were not allowed. And so those kind of stories, I mean, you feel blessed to be where you are. No matter how much we talk about other things, the perks and the problems of every profession, but then what's good is good. So I could get my son back and he was happy, we were happy. So that's a story worth telling.
Fair enough. I think we were also not having a lot of problem when it came to groceries because of this quick commerce and all of that. It's because we could afford it as well, right? But a lot of people had a lot of problems with even getting the bare minimum food and everything. So yeah, privilege is very real. We try to act like, okay, this is not there in the modern world, but it's very real in a lot of areas.
True.
As you were just talking, you started this during a period when the world had slowed down and people were spending more time with themselves. Like we did, we were all sitting at home. For me as well, personally, I got to spend a lot of time with my parents, who were both business owners. So they were always in office, and I got to spend a lot of quality time. Maybe I would have never gotten to spend with them ever if there was any other scenario. So do you think the pandemic changed people's relationship with stories? Because suddenly people had time, they had time to reflect, and they had time to remember, and also they had to time to have the time to write. So what do you think, it changed? How did it change their relationship with themselves, with their books, with their writing, with their stories?
Pujita, I don't know if you remember that there were a lot of news articles coming in the time of COVID, which talked about two major things which happened during COVID. One was children having, parents, people having children, and the other was people getting divorced.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of relationships which were shaping up during COVID. There was a lot of clarity. People, so people who thought that they could go ahead as a couple and as a family, they were planning, they were looking at things in a different way. And people who were not happy, they had these separations also. So, when you spend time with people, and COVID slowed everything down. Uh, the atmosphere improved. There were animals, there were birds all over, happier space. We were
Yeah, the
back.
earth healed itself now.
Yeah, so for a person who comes from a creative field, I mean, into writing and anything related to art, it gave me a lot of time to ponder about things, and also see the beauty around you, because there's nothing more to do. How much time can you spend on watching TV or with your phone? And
Right.
so and the blessing was the remote working. Um, we all learned to function without offices. That's
Right. Yeah.
that's crazy. So we started that, and till date you will see that I'm sitting at home, because we started during COVID and nobody goes to office, and we just like to work from our comfort and do a good job out of it. So
Right.
that is also, and there's a lot of learnings from COVID, and people started writing a lot. There was a record that the major number of books were written during COVID period,
Right.
and people were writing and looking to get published and everything. So yeah, I mean, it slows you down.
Correct.
That's the life we should be enjoying.
I think the whole concept of work from home hybrid also has come through this. We've learned a lot that you don't have to stay in office to be productive and all of that. In fact, people are more productive at home. I don't know how it's possible. So it's just that. So I think people have been able to get a better life and work balance because of COVID. It's taken a lot from us, a lot of loss, a lot of tragedy, but it's also taught us a lot about how life is very important and you should enjoy it while we have the chance to.
Absolutely. It also, I think it also taught us that there's no need to hustle. We just want to do it.
I like
I
that.
mean,
That's a very nice statement.
so you can be slow, you can be steady, and still do a good job out of it. And especially living in metro, like I am in Delhi. So living in a city like this, for some reason, you're always in a rush.
Right.
And I mean, even if you have to go somewhere, you're always in a rush. So um, uh, this was a lesson from COVID, that this is not needed. We just have that, always this expression on our faces, that jaldi karo. But
Jaldi karo, yeah.
you need to calm down.
Metro cities don't sleep, right? That's what is the thing about metro cities. Nobody sleeps, everything is open. So you feel like, oh my God, if I don't do this, I'm missing out in life. That's why you want to rush, you want to do everything, but you just forget to relax.
Absolutely. So this is what I was telling you, that when I meet new authors and somebody who wants to get into publishing, so this is the kind of impression I come back with, that oh my God, everybody is doing so much and so well. So I also need to pull up my socks. So that's the kind of motivation I come back with.
Right. Oh, that's lovely. When someone holds their book for the first time, what emotions do you witness in their faces? Because it's their baby in their hands, finally complete. So what kind of things do you witness?
That smile says it all, especially for first time authors, when they see their books, their stories, or their even if it's a non-fiction book, but whatever they have to say, they see it in the form of a printed book. That
Tangible
joy
thing.
is something
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, last year there was this New Delhi World Book Fair where we were participating, and we had a lot of book launches and podcast and interviews hosted there. And some of the book launches, so the authors who came there, they were seeing their books for the first time, and they came with their families, and everybody was there, and the children are excited about the parents, and the families are excited. So that gives you that joy, that okay, well done. so
Right.
that is I think the authors are very happy with the outcome once they see the books, and after that, of course, they want to do more on it, so they'll keep doing more activities. Every time you hold your book, you feel equally good.
Amazing. I remember when I was a kid, we had these scholastic fairs back in school. I don't know if you also remember that. It used to be crazy. I used to go crazy. Like, I used to go to every book, touch everything. Like, I want this, I want that, I want this. It was one of the best parts of school. It used to happen once a year, the fair. But my God, the joy it brought me. And it's just a very tangible thing in your own hands, that you love a particular book. You just cannot. It's a tangible, how do I put it? It's like a very real thing in your own hands, which you can flip. It doesn't give that kind of satisfaction when you read it on a phone or anything else.
That fragrance that comes
Yeah,
from
of the
it.
books. Yeah.
So that is something that you need to experience.
I'm not going to go here and say that, I'm a full, I read all these knowledgeable books, business books. No, I'm a tinkle girly through and through. I used to
I
love
still read
learning.
comics.
Yeah.
I love reading comics. So I still go to GK and I'll purchase Chacha Chaudhary and Pinky and Billu, and I still love reading all of them.
Yeah, right. Because I feel like those comics had a way of taking you away from your world and getting into their world, right? So Tinker, Supandi, and all. I learned a lot of English. Like, I learned so much from these books, which I would have not expected. There were so many new terms I used to use in my English class, and my mom was so impressed. Like, Pooja, how do you know this? I'm like, ma'am, I just am a good reader. So it's
So
just
wonderful.
that, right? Yeah, it's just wonderful. So nowadays books have gone, I mean, obviously people really love reading books, but it has reduced with growing time. People are more into digital books. So how do you bridge that gap with people? How does that work in this digital world mostly?
See, you have to go hand in hand with the present times. So whichever book we are publishing, they are all available on Kindle also.
Right.
So anybody who is interested in the book, they can choose their medium. The point is that everybody should be reading.
Right.
It makes you a better person.